Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Come to you live from the outskirts of the internet. This is the Gaming Saloon for Saturday, January 27th. With your host, Beastplayer2448 and Rampant Epsilon.
Hi.
I forget where this Goron humming song from Breath of the Wild is even in the game.
Good question.
I hit it in the playlist when we were transitioning. And I'm like, I don't remember where the hell this is at. It is just a Goron humming a song. And it is just called Goron Humming.
No telling on that, actually.
Yeah. But we have like depressing news to talk about first, because it is more layoffs in the year where we are at 5,000 layoffs in the industry already, coming off a year where we had 10,000 by the end, which is concerning and depressing.
I mean, AI is taking everyone's jobs.
Which is also concerning.
And also probably not true, because someone actually, has to kind of train the AI.
Yeah, train it on stuff they don't own.
Yeah.
I was actually talking to my mom about this the other day, and I told her about all the layoffs and stuff, and she was like, "Aren't you glad you didn't get into the game industry?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'd probably be a lot more stressed out than I am right now." In all honesty. But yeah, we have that. We have the PAL World that we are contractually obligated to talk about as the thing that talks about video game news. I do not desire to talk about PAL World at this point, but we have
But we
to.
talked about the Activision merger for like 5 months of last year, so we at least owe it that.
And guess what? We still have to talk about it because that's technically the first article.
I know.
God damn it. But don't worry, we're going to end on better news. Ish. I don't know. It depends on how you take it. I know one of them is connected to a gacha game, and everyone doesn't like gacha games because they're gacha games. Which, like, I get it, but there's still a cool game underneath here. And it's not like it's really stopping you from... Yeah. And it's also not really stopping you from playing free-to-play, which I play free-to-play. So... It helps that I don't have any sort of gambling addiction-related issues. Because that's really the big problem. Is if you're playing a gacha game and you have those sort of what's the word I'm looking for? Habits, I guess. If you lean towards those directions, it's a problem. It's a real big problem. Anyway, before we get into all of that, Tommy, what have you been playing the last couple weeks?
Oddly enough, I think I can actually say pretty much everything that has been on stream. Either mine or here kind of deal. Because I've done some archipelago stuff. With, I think, just about everything. The only thing is probably Smash Remix that I don't think's been seen anywhere. But we've kind of talked about it too, so...
Yeah, we've both been testing that a little bit.
And... really about it. Because I think I've hopped into Star Citizen a few times, but that's about it. Oh yeah. Sprawl. From the GDQ bundle.
Oh, okay.
That game, I feel like potentially could be something I could try to learn how to speedrun if I could figure out like the out of bounds stuff. It's not bad as far as a story driven game though either. Granted, I've only done the first chapter, so. But it's one of those definitely underrated game. You would not have expected that.
Yep, that's good. It has not been a whole lot for me. So just trying to chip away at getting cards and Snap, try to get the destroy deck I want. Unfortunately, I wish there was a better way to get cards and Snap. I feel like that's like the one weakness of the game, is that there's not a really good, consistent way to get cards, especially the cards you need.
They need a way in there to where you can pick and choose what cards to buy. Even if that way was something locked just to real money kind of deal. Yeah. And I don't mean a rotating shop. I mean no, I want this card. I want to spend money to get this card.
Mm-hmm.
The rotating shop's fine and all. But I think that rotating shop really should focus on the variants.
Yeah.
And then still have the current way that they have for getting cards. That way, if you don't want to spend a dime on the game, you could still get all the cards. It just might take you longer. Yeah, I think that would make that a lot better.
Yeah, because I've put far too much time into this game and still don't have the destroy deck that I really need. And it's just these little cards that I'm missing that are the key cards you need for a destroy deck is the things I'm missing.
And I mean, I know what I'm saying is literally a pay to win scenario. Except for the meta of a card game can change on a win. So is it really a pay to win?
Yeah, because they've talked about this, how they've had to like bump cards every now and again in terms of like what they do because oops, this card's too strong.
Yeah.
I will give them credit. They have done more to like shake up the meta of this than Yu-Gi-Oh does for Master Duel.
You know why? They're taking a page out of Magic's book. Magic will shake up the meta a lot. And it's a case of that's exactly what they're doing. They don't want the game to be stagnant. It is too simple of a game to be the same old, same old.
Yeah.
And it's one of those, oddly enough, they looked at the right card game to pattern after.
Mm-hmm. It's almost like the person leading that game's design like came from another really good card game and understood how to make a good card game or something.
Yeah, I know, right?
By the way, the main person behind it, I forget their name offhand, but they're former Blizzard dev that was like the main person for Hearthstone, which
also followed a very strong Magic the Gathering kind of vibe too.
Yep. Skill Up's podcast has an interview with him where he talks about that kind of stuff. It was like a couple months ago. But yeah, that continued to play Monopoly Go because my mom was like, play Monopoly Go and help me. And I'm like, all right, cool. It is a game we technically play together. And by play together, I mean they have these things called stickers, even though they should really just be called cards. There's 9 cards to a set. They're different rarities, and you get them randomly out of card packs for whatever you do in the game. But you can trade cards to other players that you have extras of. And so it's every couple days or so, me and my mom get together and see what cards we can trade back and forth. Unfortunately, we're at the point where we can't trade anything back and forth because we all have the same stuff. Or we're missing, or one of us is missing what the other person needs. Or we can't trade it because for some dumb reason there's a limitation on gold 5-star cards. You can't trade those unless there's an event going on where you get to trade that specific card. And only that specific gold 5-star card. Monopoly Go is dumb in various specific ways.
So it's a gacha game where the payment is your time.
It's not even a gacha game because there's no gacha element to it.
Oh, it's a gacha game. It is stealing your time.
Yeah. I mean, yes. But it is the most, I will say this, there is no gacha game I have ever played that has felt as egregious with give us money to play video game as this has. None. Absolutely none. This game is egregious. This game is the thing everyone is like, I don't want microtransactions in my video game. This is what they're talking about. Is this shit. And nothing I've ever played has been egregious as this. Nothing. But yeah, besides that, not a whole lot else. I was hoping to hear back from a job in the last couple days or so, but I haven't heard back, so it's gonna be a no on that job, I think. Which is a shame because it was something I felt like I could be really happy with, and nope. Back to chasing applications once more. But I guess anything else before we get to all the depressing news?
No. I said no. Yeah. I'm guessing that it didn't.
Nope. Discord did not pick that up. But I guess we'll start with, like we said, Microsoft, Activision, Blizzard nonsense. So after what it seemed like, and I guess talk was, this was not going to happen. Well, too bad it happened. Microsoft is laying off approximately 1,900 employees across Xbox, Activision, Blizzard, and ZeniMax Studios, and like departments just across the board on all these places. Because I know for the Activision Blizzard stuff, it's actually some specific studios in there. Like 4 of the Call of Duty developers have people getting laid off in their studios. So it's a fairly like big, extensive, like this is hitting a little bit everywhere kind of situation. But yeah, this sucks to hear after a year of hearing about this, and it is still going. I guess any other major thoughts, because there's not really anything else.
No.
Oh, there's that. I forgot to put that in there. I completely forgot about that as I scroll down. The Indiana Jones video game got announced.
Yay.
I was meaning for you to look at it a little bit and see if you felt something was weird and off about it. Mainly like the later, like proper gameplay portions of it that aren't just cutscenes. Something about it feels a little too good. Like this doesn't feel like it's real time. Feels a little pre-rendery. Feels like a little concept-y. Maybe that's just me. I have no idea, to be honest. I just know that something's tickling the back of my head on this game that's like, something's not right here, but I just don't know what. And it's not the voice of Indy in this, because Indy is not being voiced by Harrison Ford. He's being voiced by Troy Baker. But this is coming from... I forgot the developer offhand. Machine Games was the one doing this. But I've got nothing else.
I've just kind of got it running in the back.
Oh. No particular thoughts on it?
Not really.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm just being a little paranoid about it. Anyway, moving on. As a part of all of these layoffs and stuff, a survival game that Blizzard has been working on for 6 years is getting canned over engine issues. But apparently it was prototyped on Epic's Unreal Engine before Blizzard switched to a different engine. It was called Odyssey and then Synapse. No other major notes on this, it seems like. It just existed and then doesn't anymore. So I guess any thoughts on that?
No, I mean, not really anything to go off of, truthfully.
Yeah. Another set of layoffs. This time, Riot is laying off 530 of their employees. A good portion of them is also part of this is also ending their new game development under its Riot Forged arm. That was the arm that was producing those third-party League adjacent games like Rune King, Magekeeper, Song of Nunu, all those that were like, I think all of them turned out decent, but none of them really like took off because they're not League. Therefore, people didn't really care about them, I think. But the good news is they gave him a really good package. Wondering if the article detailed that real quick. No. I know they got a really good package for people that were getting laid off. Like 6 months pay, career counseling, a laptop if you didn't have one, amongst a lot of other like benefits and stuff. So that's a plus, I guess. Not like the greatest plus in the world, but it's a plus.
I mean, at least it shows they actually did care, that it kind of hit them bad too.
Yeah. But any other thoughts?
No.
All right, then it's Power World. So this all hit within 2 weeks. So we have a lot to cover. So the best way to put this is that Pocket Pair, who are, I believe, a Chinese studio? Or no, they... Where is Pocket Pair based out of? Oh no, they're a Japanese studio. My bad. I don't know why I thought they were a Chinese studio. I think I was misconstruing a stat where most of the players for Power World are actually Chinese players, regionally speaking. But yeah, Pocket Pair, Japanese studio. They put out Power World finally as an early access title and like a game preview title as a part of Game Pass. It is essentially a survival game that is. I feel like survival games do really well on PC, just in general. I feel like if you release a decent enough one with multiplayer, people flock to it in droves.
Yeah.
But it made a big stink because this is the meme game of Pokemon with guns, even though that's apparently not really that much of a thing in the game and is not something the CEO and other people have really took as a big thing. But it was in all of their marketing, so So it caused a big stink amongst people because a lot of people were like, oh, this is ripping off Pokemon. That's stupid and dumb and terrible. And then other people came to the defense of the game being like, well, Pokemon shouldn't release a shitty game this year. Amongst other things.
Which they shouldn't, but I mean...
Essentially, it is people arguing in circles about a whole bunch of stuff. But the crux of a whole bunch of the controversies kind of like fall into as the YouTube video, which is SkillUp's news video, kind of the first like good 10 minutes or so of it covers the PAL World stuff. It comes into three categories, essentially. The first category is a lot of these PAL designs very much evoke Pokemon and are just slightly different versions of those Pokemon. Which is accurate.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone can look at this game and go and not go, oh, that Pokemon, though that PAL is this Pokemon, because it is. Whether or not that is a legally standing case is, an entire different conversation. Then there is the controversy that apparently the person who brought this up on Twitter lied and was doing some fuckery on their end to make it look like this was the case. That some of these PAL World Pokemon designs are straight up models ripped from Pokemon games and then modified to make the PALs.
Which is a bunch of crap.
Some of them are a little too close for comfort, but it doesn't seem like that's actually a case. But the worrisome one, and their CEO has not helped this one, is that they used an AI they fed an AI Pokemon designs and then generated their PAL designs from that. It does not help that the CEO is a big up on AI and also tweeted out how he did this exact thing just for 2D illustrations. None of those made it into PAL World, mind you, but that doesn't help your case at all. Having a documented case of doing the exact thing you're accused of.
Okay, but at the same time, is that truly an issue as long as it is changed enough?
I think the problem comes with AI is the fact that they are feeding an AI actual Pokemon designs and it is spitting out something that is an amalgamation of those things.
Okay.
And it's a question of is that like legal?
But to this, from what I'm gonna say out of that, look at every one of them that are on the screen for that picture at the top of the article.
Yeah.
There's not one of those that I can full on just say, oh yeah, that is definitely that Pokemon.
Yeah.
I can see characteristics of each of them.
Mm-hmm.
But there's not one of them that I'm like, oh yeah, that definitely is that Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm sorry, are not what was the final form for the Alolan starter bird?
Shoot. Pick-a-peck. Pick-a-peck? No, Tropicana.
No, our grass starter.
Grass?
Alolan.
Alolan. Oh, piss.
I can't think of its name.
Hang on. Brr. I see the picture. I still can't think of the name, but it's the.
Because I'm pretty sure that's the one that I'm thinking of. Yeah, that is.
Decidueye.
Decidueye.
Yes.
Yeah. You can't tell me that one that's got its back to the entire screen there, that is not something from that.
Yeah.
It's one of those, you can't tell me stuff like that isn't the case. But it's one of those at the same time, I'm like, okay, that's not really copying though. That's taking inspiration, kind of deal. So that's one of those, that's that point where I'm like, okay, if we get aggravated over someone feeding an AI a bunch of Pokemon models and saying, generate me creatures using this data, how is that different than some of the trends we've had? Does anyone need to remember Year of the Hook Shot? Where everything had some kind of grapple mechanic in it because one game did it really good, so we all have to do it?
Yeah.
I mean, the entire gaming industry is that. Someone did something successful, so now let's copy that. This is nowhere as blatant as when we had like 10 different games all come out with a grapple mechanic the same year. Is it wrong? No. Is it the best way of doing it? No. It's that gray area of if this was only used to get a base kind of deal, then fine, because then that still means you've got a idea and you're building off of that isn't straight copy. If we had a palette swap Charmander in this game, then yeah, I could completely be like, yeah, they've got every right to go after him and tell them to take it down. Because I mean, that at that point, that is not trying to come up with your own idea. That is trying to just copy and paste.
I feel like,
which I kind of get back to the whole, if they want to get serious about it, look on the Google Play Store. There are games that literally use the exact sprites and change the name.
I feel like something like this not Lucario is too close for comfort.
That one, I could see them saying that something has to be modified.
Yeah.
That might be like one of a handful kind of concept too, though.
Yeah.
Where it's like, okay, yeah, something like that I could maybe see them having a little bit of an issue with. Because that kind of looks like, oh, I know there's another one like that, because it's kind of putting me in a mindset of like an electric type Lucario kind of deal.
Yeah, Zorora?
Yeah, that one. That's probably what it blended out of those two kind of deal. And it's one of those, something like that, I could see them being like, okay, no, you do have to change that, because it's too close. But literally 5 that are sitting in that image there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really see any issues with those.
Yeah.
They borrow characteristics, but they also change enough, or at least combine with others in such a way that it looks unique.
This one also feels like maybe you should have picked a different color palette, because I think the different color palette at least, please. Literally, the color palette is the exact same.
Huh.
That one is also this is egregious. This is this is a one that'll get you in trouble, I think.
Yeah.
That honestly, that looks like an AI generated version of the Pokemon.
And I mean that's that case there.
Yeah.
I was noticing too, in that little bit that I was in on Keys' stream, another thing that it looked like the AI liked doing was trying to throw Cosmog, I think it is, from Sun and Moon.
Oh, is it that little like Wooloo looking one? I think it's in this article. Is it this one?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, there was some of them that had the same kind of, from like Cosmog color wise.
Oh, okay.
With the whole star field kind of concept.
Okay, yeah.
There's some of those that it's like, okay, those I can completely see, but then again, at the same time, it's hard to pull off certain things like that without it looking samey. But it looked like the AI tried to combine that into a lot of them as well.
I just...
And honestly, that second picture, I see it.
That one feels like like you're gonna get stared at by Nintendo, but they're not gonna say anything about it.
Nope. Nope. If they hadn't used that description for it.
Oh.
They screwed up on that. That's what I was sitting there looking. When I pulled it up, I looked at that too, and I'm like, nope. That description's enough to kind of...
I didn't even read the description. What does it say? Pokemon tumbling back to out. That is literally Wooloo's Pokedex entry right there in that first sentence. What the fuck?
That's why I'm like, yeah, okay, something like that. I could see them saying, no, change.
All right, that's okay. And then there's also the G-Max Eevee looking one. I might as well just link you this article. Like some of these I feel like are a little like, it's throwing parts together and stuff, but like, but then some of the others I'm like, all right, you're skirting the line. You're close in trouble. And others are like, okay, guys, maybe you should not have okayed this one. guys, this one's gonna get you in trouble. Because like it's like Univolt in this article, like it's like, oh, it's an electric zebra, and I'm like, that doesn't like it's a concept similarity, but like those are still two different things. I'm gonna go ahead and call this one just off that second image that they've got in the gallery there. No, whoever wrote this IGN article was trying to make the comparison. That's a stretch. Sparkit and Pikachu.
Elect Kid would come closer.
Yeah.
Not Pikachu. This is someone stretching.
Yeah. Honestly, that Fox Parks one, it's like, no, it's not Charmander or Vulpix. Honestly, the Nickit comparison is a lot closer just because of the similarities in design. But even then, I'm just like, okay, those are just generally fox-shaped things. That seems like you're close, but you're fine.
No, this article's someone trying to push for it.
Yeah.
Because there's enough of these that I'm like, okay, no. You can tell this is AI generated based off of actual Pokemon models. I will give it that. Because you can see some of the characteristic there.
Yeah. We know that like one graduate student is responsible for all these HAL designs, according to Pocket Pair themselves. They have copped to that. So, which part of me is like, okay, if you're going to lay that all on one person, that either you are like being legit about that, or you are more than willing to throw this one person under the bus if shit gets to fan. Like, oh no, we're in trouble. It's their fault. They did it. We didn't know. That sounds like you setting up somebody to get thrown under the bus.
Image 16. You know what? Hold on. I'm pulling this over.
Yeah, that doesn't really work as much as they say it does.
Okay. This one, sure.
Is it the Mega Aggron one?
I'm starting at the beginning.
Oh, okay. Wee.
I've just got it on stream now because I flipped through some of these and I'm like, no. This one, sure.
The whatever this is in Luxray, the shiny Luxray, even.
Yeah. Yeah. This one, no. No.
Granted, I can see the Raichu tail in it. That's about the only thing I recognize out of it. I'm like, that looks real close to Raichu's tail.
Obviously, we talked about the Charpix that they had there.
Yeah, which is the wrong
which
comparison.
Is no. I mean, that is Vulpix's body. I'm not going to deny that.
Yeah, it feels closer to the Nickit comparison they have deeper in the article because of like how the tail is and stuff, but this feels passable.
I feel like that one would work.
Mm-hmm.
This one, okay, yes, it is close, but it's a penguin.
Yeah.
How much room do you have to play with that? This one, I think, is passable.
Also, it's like a chubbier penguin. It's like that. It looks more like a plush penguin. Honestly,
that's one of those. I'm like, this one, no.
I have no idea where the next one comes from.
The mouth and the eyes.
Okay,
that is
fair.
The only comparison. Why was this one in here?
Otherwise, like
There's
the only cow
nothing.
one I can think of is Miltank.
And that is
and that's
not
even. No, because that's not even because it's all pink. It's not even like regular cow colors. So meh.
Meowth? No.
No. Like the face, sure, but again, the body's completely different.
Even the face, the only thing is the mouth.
Yeah. It looks more in common with a Skitty, I think.
Yeah.
Because of the pink in the ears.
Another one where it's like, okay, the face is it.
Yeah.
That is is I can't think of which fish that is.
I was about to say that is.
I think can't that one of the not sun and moon. Sword and shield fish?
I was about to say that's Sobble's fin on top of
You're
its
right,
head.
that is.
I was about to say that is Sobble's fin on top of its head verbatim.
If anything, I would see that one being the one used in this comparison.
Mm-hmm.
But even then, neither one of them, no. Another one, the only thing that is the headpiece.
Yeah.
But there again, I also think that that's changed enough where that would be fine.
Yeah, because it's an alpaca. It's an alpaca design, and honestly, it's a decent little alpaca design.
Yeah.
This is the one I pointed out where I'm like, electric zebra. Okay, these two are completely different.
They're close enough in the body is the same. But guess what?
Yeah.
Model a zebra. I bet you it's going to look like that.
It is an electric zebra with some very odd color choices that also has like a terrible texture on the body. I don't know if it's because they were low res when they took the screenshot, but that has a terrible texture on the body. It is far too mushy.
This one is the one that I'm like, okay. But you know what? Looking at it from the front, no. It drew inspiration, but that's about it.
Yeah, it's probably... I was about to say it might even be the. Okay, it's Robin Quill. Okay, I was like that description does not say really pull that, but I'm like, okay, the name is Robin Quill. Okay.
This one, what? Are you marking it for colors? Because if so, why are we counting colors as what they're copying?
Yeah, that's...
And yeah, that's exactly what they even put in there. Why?
Yeah, that doesn't...
This
really
article
work.
is stretching more than anything.
Yeah. Again, that is another terrible texture on the body of one of these pals. That is a terrible texture.
Also, similar beak is what they're saying. So we're going to say copying because of that.
I was about to say, wouldn't you do the same sort of beak if you were doing a toucan?
Uh-huh. Also, shout outs to they called similar beak, but not same feet. I mean, why don't we just go ahead and mark everything that looks the same? Oh, they both used red. There's a problem.
Oh no.
I feel like whoever did these, for the most part, was just trying to grab whatever they could.
Yeah.
This one is probably one of the few that I'm right there with you on. Yeah, it's like, yeah, no, this one probably should have been changed, guys. This one, you probably should have looked at that and been like, oh, wait.
Look, if it was blue, then this would be a conversation you need to have with, oh fuck, who owns Toucan Sam?
Oh, I was on the next one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the Anubis one. Yeah, this is too close for comfort. I'm like, maybe do more with this instead of just, hey, it's Lucario with clothes on.
Granted, at the same time, because of the way that Anubis is always depicted, there might not be that much more they could do with it.
Right.
But maybe they could have, eliminated the blue on the inside of the ears even.
Yeah.
Changed that color to match like the brown tones of the rest of it. That would probably be enough to just kind of break that illusion of, wait, this is the same thing.
Yeah, maybe like go more monstrous than humanoid, like oh shit, what is the Anubis proxy in League? Oh, I can't think of their name.
I don't remember. It's been a while since we've touched League.
Same. But I'm like, do more of that. Go more monstrous than like humanoid. Because like Lucario is a very humanoid in design.
But see, here's also the other thing. What was Lucario's roots? Because I have to wonder if maybe Lucario's roots were patterned after like Anubis. And if
honestly,
that's the case, then who came before who in this instance?
Honestly, I don't know, because Lucario is just kind of this. I don't think it even has anything to do with Anubis in terms of what it is, because it's like it's the aura Pokemon that uses aura stuff. Like it has no association with death at all. It's just, hey, I am the aura Pokemon that can like charge up and shoot, Hadoukens.
Okay, this one, sure. This one, sure, I could kind of give it that as well. I mean, you can't look at those two and tell me that they're not the same.
At least one is more like plushy-esque.
But they're the same.
Yeah.
This one, what? We mark them because they're both
Queen bees, essentially.
Yeah. They look different all the way.
Yeah, this is like the root idea is the same, but everything else is different.
And what are we gonna say that because Pokemon did a queen bee, no one else can do any kind of anything of that nature? I disagree with this comparison.
I don't understand this comparison.
The head is the only thing. That extra horn coming up there.
Yeah.
I disagree with this comparison. Though, what was the legendary from Black and White?
Which one?
The dark one.
Oh, Zekrom?
I feel like that one is closer to comparison here.
Yeah, the wings feel more like Yveltal's wings, though, from X and Y. Kind of.
Yeah. I could see either of those two being more of a comparison than Aggron. Because, I mean, really.
Even it's Mega Aggron, even not even regular Aggron.
Yeah. This one I don't really.
I don't understand. Like, okay, they have similar stances.
And they have
all I'm
similar
seeing.
body.
Yeah.
But even that's different from the looks of it.
Hmm.
I don't see that one.
No.
I don't see this one either.
I can kind of see it in the head a little, but not really.
Not enough for me to be like, oh yeah, that's definite a copy.
Yeah.
I disagree with the comparison, but I do see a different comparison. And I think it's more of a combination between these two and I think it was Dragapult. Because
Yeah,
I kind of see more of that.
Yeah, the colors remind me of Dragapult, especially. Because those colors are procking something in my head, but I can't put a word to it.
But even then, I'm still like, okay, well, this is different enough where I would be like, okay, well, sure, it's not that. The only thing that killed this one was the fact that they used the same description, and I'm like, oh, dear God.
Guys. and the AI generated Cobalin. This should not have made the cut. It does not this should not have made the cut. This is definitively will get them in trouble.
This one will have to get changed.
Yeah, redesign this from the ground up. Just redesign it from the ground up. Whatever this is, different thing. Completely different thing.
Okay, I could see this one.
Yeah, yeah.
There's no defending that one, really.
Maybe don't do Meganium, but the flower is different. That is not even official art of Delphox, I think.
IGN, pay attention to what your makers are doing. No, look, read the description even. Has more in common with a fan-made alternate design. Then that's not copying.
Yeah, because I was about to say, that's not Delphox's.
The actual heck.
Yeah, that's not Delphox's official design.
This legitimately is someone reaching.
Hang on. I found the art.
But this is literally someone from IGN reaching.
I found the art that they say it's compared to. Guess what this is?
What?
This is someone's fan art of a Mega Delphox.
Meaning it is the farthest thing from copying that it could possibly be.
It is the third result on Google image search. It is also the only thing that looks like it, because all the other things that come up are the actual official, like look like are either official art of Delphox or that it's just Delphox.
I don't get it.
This is someone getting sloppy.
Yeah. And the next one is too.
I see it.
No.
But
No, you don't. You see all creamy.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was what I immediately spotted. And it's like, Also, could they possibly read the names of what they're calling the pals and maybe figure out the Pokemon that sounds close to that name?
Yeah,
Premise?
The pal is some of these also are like, guys, are you inviting trouble?
This entire IGN article is a case of they are just trying to they're trying to incite chaos. They're not doing any kind of actual journalism. Because I could throw half of this list out that we've went through already.
Yeah.
Case in point, another one. Now, do they do dual typing for the pals?
I have no idea. 1 second.
Yes, they do.
Yes. What is this thing's name? Verdash? Oh, it's a pure grass type.
Yeah, that's why I'm like,
I see it based off the general body shape. It is the same kind of humanoid rabbit shape. So maybe tweak that more.
They could have probably gotten away with this if it was like a grass fighting. And I only say that because that would look like a actual fighting outfit then.
Yeah, it looks like an MMA outfit.
They could probably have gotten away with it there.
Yeah,
but a pure grass, it's like, that looks too much like a copy.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that's what they would wind up having to do, is look all the way through it. Like, is there a reason why it's looking similar to it? Oh, it's because of this. That would make sense then. Really, we just made a comparison to the same one twice, guys. Of course, it's gonna look like a Leafeon. Leafeon is grass. This is grass.
I think it's pieces of it, because they say the ears are Leafeon.
Okay, for the one that they said Charmander and Vulpix looked like, why didn't they throw Flareon into that one? You can't take the evolutions and count them against any of these. That's just all there is to it. Each of the evolutions are meant to be the embodiment of that type. Just about everything, including within Pokemon itself, is going to have some kind of characteristic that could be pointed back that way. and we have a third one.
Apparently the collar is the same on both.
I disagree. I disagree with that.
I think it's because I think in game the texture on it, like the texturing of it, is kind of the same, and I'm like, that's stretch.
Stretching. I'm torn on the next one. Well, the main reason I say that is because they're clearly doing Water Snake.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. Never mind. I take that back. I looked over at the typing, and that's why it looked familiar too. Hydratini. Tell me that's not.
Yeah, more. I think, doesn't Dragonair have the orb on the tail at the end?
Wait, are they not gonna catch? Did I even catch it? And not him? Because yeah, Dratini's got the orb on the end.
I thought Dragonair did.
Or it might be Dragonair.
Yeah, Dragonair's the one. Well, it's got like 2 orbs on the tail, but like, yeah, orb on tail.
I thought Dratini does too, though.
No, it is just Little Snake Friend.
Okay. But no, that's Dratini. That's not. Also, granted, I mean, how are you gonna do Water Snake? It's gonna look similar. Just gonna say that.
Yeah, the head shape is very close to Primarina's, but like,
I'll give them that. And the hair is pretty on spot.
Yeah, that feels very a little too close.
Okay, this was one of them in the main image that we had there.
Yeah.
No, I really don't see that comparison outside of the top piece.
Yeah.
And the easiest way to solve that, knock the crown off.
Yeah.
And truthfully, you wouldn't know a difference between.
Mm-hmm. Because this is like a dinosaur friend.
Yeah.
Instead of flower friend.
And I could completely see that. If anything, it looks like that might be using maybe Charizard body. Because
Honestly,
that kind of looks that way.
It looks more like a Charizard body with like shorter limbs and stuff.
Maybe Charmeleon?
Yeah. I love that this is have turned into half roasting IGN and half roasting.
Well, I mean, IGN does
their
have
design choices.
IGN does have some in here that I'm like, yeah, fair. That's why we weren't even thinking about it, but yeah, that is Gudra's body.
Yeah,
with
even with the little curl on the end.
Charmander tail and arms.
No, it's Gudra's tail because it
curls
not the same
legs
way.
and arms.
Yeah.
But see, I don't have a problem when it's a combination of multiple. Because it's harder to tell it then.
Hmm. This is skirt the line, but I don't think you're in legal trouble. I don't think. This one feels okay.
Yeah. Because
Like,
even looking at both of them together, I mean, yeah, still. I feel like that's different enough.
Because both of them are feminine Pokemon with big, ballroom skirt. Or ballroom dress. So, like, yeah, they're going to look similar, but, like, they're not identical. Not really. So I'll give them credit for that. That might be a problem. Maybe don't lay out the colors the exact same as Blossom.
Yeah, that one is the
Just
problem.
damn.
Yeah.
Damn, guys.
The next Pokemon, though, I don't agree with that
honestly,
comparison.
I don't know why they make that comparison, because that's the wrong comparison I've seen all the time for this.
The next one's actually right.
That's what people are comparing it to. Also, this is the Pokemon that wants to have sex. I'm not kidding, by the way, because it says it in the description.
Well, man, it is Pokemon number 69.
You know what? I'd be more on board with this if it wasn't just like, here is Salazzle, but like this. Because I'm like, all right, yeah, you did the big like feminine Pokemon as 69. It would have been funnier if they did some like Eldritch horror thing as 69. Like, that's the low-hanging fruit there.
Okay, wait a minute. The Bolt main one?
Uh-huh.
Look at what they put in there about it. It was only ever seen in preview footage and is not available in game.
Oh, good. They realized, this one might be skirting this might be too close. Maybe we should scrap this one.
No, you know what that tells me? That almost tells me that they've probably reached out to someone. to see if these could be able to be passed. That one being that close probably was a no.
Yeah.
This seems like they've looked into some kind of legal advice to see if they could get away with some of these.
Which surprises me because I'm like, yeah, this one's close, but not as close as some of these others. And I'm like, those get a pass and this one doesn't? Okay.
Now, I do know there is some stuff with, especially creative side of it, you only have to change so much percentage of it before it can technically be considered your own.
Yeah.
That one does not have a big change in it.
Mm-hmm.
Colors are the same. The ears are literally the only difference from what you can tell between them.
Mm-hmm.
If someone took just a picture of Boltmane and asked them to identify the Pokemon, they could probably say Luxray. That's all there is to it. So I think maybe some of these others, while they are super close to it, I think they've changed enough to where they probably are fine. Because it's one of those, everything we've seen, none of them's been a blatant, yeah, that's that Pokemon. That's the only one. And for that one to not be in game, that kind of tells me they've reached out to someone. Might not necessarily have been Nintendo or the Pokemon Company or any of them, but it sounds like they've probably at least reached out to someone in a legal sense and was like, hey, this looks like this. Are we good?
I wonder if it was Microsoft's legal department. Considering this is a Game Pass game.
It's possible.
Well, one last one, the not liking rock.
But if it was Nintendo's legal department, I would think they would have contacted kind of deal.
Yeah.
This one's probably the next closest one.
Yeah, it's there, but like the name is different.
It looks different enough.
Yeah.
This one honestly puts me more in the mindset of how some of the Craftopia animals looked.
Mm-hmm.
In all seriousness. So this one might not have full been a copy. This might have been more of a modification off of assets they already had.
Yeah. I can say this, I'm not like super feeling a lot of these designs. If I'm being honest, I don't know. Something about them, I'm just like, these look fine, but I'm not in love with any of them.
I mean, I kind of can say the same about some of the newer Pokemon too, though.
True.
I don't know. I would have to try the game to see, kind of deal.
If it's on Game Pass.
It's one of those. I'm like, I would have to see how it is.
Mm-hmm.
If it felt like how Craftopia got after a little while, where it was just grindy, then it probably would lose me on a game standing.
Hmm. Honestly, it just, from what I've seen, it seems like it's very much built on Craftopia. Because see, some of the menus even looked close enough to Craftopia from what I remembered. I'm like, oh, this is built on Craftopia, isn't it? And it's just, we've added in the Palkomon because we think that will sell better. Is my sneaking suspicion.
I mean, that's possible.
And like, that's fine. That doesn't interest me because I've played Craftopia, unlike apparently 90% of the internet.
Well, I mean, it did kind of fall under the radar big time.
even though it was on Game Pass too.
Yeah.
That's the part that gets me about all of this. I'm like, everyone making this big stink about Power World, and I'm like, this game seems fine. Like, if you have enough buddies to make some fun in it, cool. But if you don't have that kind of situation, it's fine enough on its own, but it is nothing to like cause a 2-week-long stir up about. And also draw these hard lines and saying, just like, if you're defending if you're defending Pokemon, you suck because you're defending a big corporation against like the little smaller company. And I'm like, that's not what people are defending. People are defending the work of the people that work at Game Freak, who, put in hours of work into making these creatures, because like every Pokemon, they have to come up with all of this stuff for them, like habitats and like habits and like food and all of this. They have to come up with all this background material that we never get in games, but it's a part of the design process for Pokemon. So they put in a lot of work into designing the Pokemon, which is, the thing I think most people don't complain about these days with Pokemon.
But you know what the problem is, too?
Mm-hmm.
It's a case of stuff like this is really the direction that Pokemon needs to try to go. They need to have the more, not necessarily crafting, but they need to have the more interactive part of it. The linear storyline stuff is kind of gone. And the one time that they thought they were going to do an open world, guess what? It really still was linear.
Mm-hmm.
You still had to, if you were doing the badge route, you still had to do each of the gems. You still had to do the league. Even if you were doing the other two paths, you still had to do each of the objectives there.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't really a case of you making your own adventure and then you having, say, like the gym challenge as your end game.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really the point that they need to go towards. Maybe have it where you're starting out with nearly nothing and you can build your own base and you can do whatever you wanted to do and still have that end game if you wanted. I feel like Pokemon's probably one of the best games to go open world, and they don't know how to do it, is the problem.
May I make a suggestion? Follow in the steps of the current Pokemon anime, kind of. So, in the current Pokemon anime, we have the Brave Asagi, which is an airship that our crew, the Rising Volteckers, journey about on this, trying to figure out, or trying to find these, like, Pokemon of this legendary adventurer to find this, like, undiscovered location. Which, is very Final Fantasy sounding, isn't it?
A little bit.
Maybe take a little bit of inspiration from classic Final Fantasies and have it be a case of, oh, here is this big region of sorts, and you're exploring it, and over the course of the game, you're getting more and more means to explore it better and better. So maybe you start on foot, but then you get a bike, and it lets you explore more of the region, and then you get another means of transportation. You get to explore more of the region. Like, take a classic Final Fantasy approach to it.
I could see something like that working. Or I could see, us not limiting our main bike/Pokemon's movements to progressing certain aspects of the story.
Yeah.
Because that was the biggest flaw with Scarlet and Violet. Yeah, you could go, if you were wanting to do the gym challenge, you could go to any of the gyms that you wanted to, if you could figure out how to get there. If you could find ways around not having all the abilities. The biggest problem they had was they took the open world but then turned it linear. And maybe doing it the way that you're saying might be the better play.
Yeah.
Maybe still have it a progression base, but not have it a linear progression base. Maybe instead of saying you have access to the whole map, say you have access to this city. Once you finish the city, you have bike. You now have access to these 3 cities.
I imagine it kind of like, you know how a dartboard is, or like a target is, where you have like, you know, your bullseye, and then you have those
the rings out from there.
Rings out from there. That is your progression. You start in that bullseye. You start in this little small area, and you explore around and stuff, and then you open up to the bigger circle, and you're able to explore that entirely. Then you open up into the bigger circle, and then the bigger circle, and then the bigger circle. That way you're expanding what you can get to, but it's always just there. You can maybe see it, maybe it's off in the distance, maybe you'll hear about it in game, but you can't quite get there yet until you find the right thing. And then once you get it, oh, I can go there, do things, do cool stuff. Essentially what they did with Breath of the Wild of, hey, thing is over there. Go do it. Go find it.
It's almost like you're explaining Arceus.
Yeah. Except that instead of the various sections being like, or the various areas being sectioned off, they are connected together and you can go between them. That's like the only thing Arceus was really missing.
Yeah.
It's almost like Arceus was the good video game that everyone forgets about in this conversation about Pal World.
It's a case of Scarlet and Violet flubbed it so hard that now we can have something like this just take it over.
Yeah.
And I'm more talking about on a game level. I'm not even talking about the performance issues.
Yeah, I think that was more of a problem with Scarlet and Violet more than anything was the performance.
It was one of those, it was a combination of the two. When you have Pokemon speedrunners and they don't even like Scarlet and Violet, you might have made a mistake. It's one of those, everyone's like, oh, Power World, that'll make Game Freak actually put their best foot in this time around. No, Scarlet and Violet needed to be the reason why they put their best foot in this time around.
Yeah, and supposedly someone from Game Freak is like, yeah, we have taken all of this feedback that we've gotten from Scarlet and Violet, and we will put more time into our video games. And I'm like, is the Pokemon Company letting you put more time in the video games? Because that's kind of part of the problem. Because Game Freak can't make good video game if they don't get like more than like a year to make it from the ground up is the problem.
I think they've got a way to do it though, because look at Let's Go. That actually turned out pretty good. Can't say the same for the Diamond and Pearl remakes.
Well, the Diamond and Pearl remakes were not made by Game Freak, so...
And I think that kind of is where the problem is.
That gets to be put off to the side.
But obviously they saw that doing the remakes was a good idea. I have to think that Arceus probably did good enough for them to think that that could be a avenue to go down too. I mean, obviously we've not heard anything else, but I kind of have to think that they at least saw that did decent enough. So maybe between the two, that might give them two smaller projects in a format they already have a backbone for, so they don't have to put as much work into it. Because I mean, a remake, what are they really putting work into? Just making any models that don't already exist?
Yeah.
Everything else is already there. All your descriptions, all your location information, it's all already there.
All your pre-production work, essentially.
So it's a case of set a small group of modelers over to the side and say, hey, you work on finishing these, make the rest of them start working on the next game.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they could sub it out a lot easier that way. The problem is, I don't think we're going to see Game Freak be willing to let anyone else touch Pokemon after the Diamond and Pearl one.
Yes, which is a shame because there's a studio that has a branch of their studio entirely dedicated to doing support work for Nintendo-based video games, and they have a lot of experience making open world and stuff work really well on the Switch. Maybe they can help.
Oh, the Switch is a thing of the past.
Well, the Switch 2 at least, then. Supposedly. Whatever the damn thing's supposed to be called at this point.
The new Nintendo Switch?
Sure. Like, you know who could really help, like, make an open world Pokemon game run really well? Fucking Monolith Soft, because they have figured out how to make an open world game work on the Switch and not have fucking performance issues out the goddamn wazoo. Several times over, in fact.
It's one of those, it's funny because every bit of this with Power World is stemming from Scarlet and Violet being the garbage fire that they were.
Yeah.
And the Diamond and Pearl remakes were right there too.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of put everyone in a bad mood for it. So of course we're going to have something that mimics it and it's going to go over really good. Truthfully, if someone was to put Pixelmon back in the spotlight, that would probably go over really good right now because there's an itch for that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just no one has a game to go for. At this point, everyone's done everything they could out of Sword and Shield. What's really the point in going back to it?
Yeah.
Scarlet and Violet's supposed to be the current one that is supposed to be getting support. Yet the last time that we were doing stuff in it, it was still acting like it was when we left.
Yeah.
So it's like they haven't fixed the problems.
Even though they're putting in new content, and apparently they've now put in an epilogue with the new Pokemon to catch, and they're going to put in another one apparently.
I mean, the simple fact that we found a way to break the game.
That has existed since the game launched, apparently.
Kind of shows the problems.
Mm-hmm. Well, that is more talk about Power World that thankfully was more positive than I was expecting.
I can't believe that IGN article though.
I mean, IGN are a bit of chuckle fucks at times, so. Although
that was bad journalism. That's all that is. Because I mean that was trying to make a problem out of something that really isn't that big.
But guess what? They're apparently not getting a review code for Suicide Squad.
That sounds about right.
And I'm like, well, that's probably a bad sign because they may not be the only one. I think they said they're not the only ones that have not gotten a review code for Suicide Squad.
Well, they probably... the way it's going, I could think of a few of them that have decided to do stupid for articles recently.
Hmm.
I saw something, I forgot what exactly it was, and I also don't remember which one of the outlets it was, but I think it's one that we don't use anymore.
Probably.
Talking about a new feature for a game that even I sat there and read it, and I was like, okay, there's got to be someone in the comments that has to point out to them that they are a pack of idiots, that this has existed since the game launched. And sure enough, I went to the comments and yep. I'm like, when the entire community knows, why did you let that get published?
Gotta get something out there. Gotta get in the algorithm. Gotta do the numbers. Gotta play the game.
I mean, at that point, I mean, if we just wanted to follow that same pattern, then we could just replay this week's TGS in 2 weeks and be good too.
You know, that'd be a fun little April Fool's joke.
Now that you've said that, yeah. That would, wouldn't it?
Pulls up calendar. When is April 1st? Damn it, it's on a Monday. Damn it. Damn you, calendar.
I love that you and me both were looking at that the same way. Also,
like,
that isn't even a week of TGS.
Oh, it's a TGSR week.
Yeah, so we couldn't even just postpone the show a few days.
Fuck, what would we even be doing at that point? Because I don't know. Because I don't know timing-wise what that would end up being.
Well, that's 5 weeks from now. We'd definitely be out of Saber at that point.
Okay, so we'd be somewhere in the S4 trilogy stuff. Because S4 trilogy would take 7 weeks.
So then, yeah, probably 3rd week, I think, of it.
Oh, so we would be finishing up S4 Gridman. Because that'd be the last week of S4 Gridman. Yes, I have time this out.
Second or third.
Both shows are.
Because we ended at, what, 32 this past TGSR?
Yes.
Probably second then.
I have it timed out because both shows are 12 episodes long. So it's 3 weeks even. Anyway, anything else before we move on to other stuff?
Nope.
All right, then. This is just for me, honestly. Honkai Star Rail did a big reveal stream of their 2.0 update where we're off to Penacony, which is a big giant hotel on a planet that the main attraction of this hotel is you go there, you get in a bath, and then you dream, and then you get to like go to different dream worlds, essentially. I also want to point out in their reveal stream, if you want to skip to like 8-9 minutes in, they have an entire ass sound stage that they put together to do this reveal stream in. Like, damn. Like they put in budget for this. Just to sit down and talk about this update.
Yeah, they did. Jeez.
You can tell that Hoyo got money.
Oh, man. Yeah. They got that gacha game money.
Yeah. Which is like the downside to Honkai. But I think there's still a good game of Honkai. Like, if you just ignore the gacha and just be like, oh, I have enough currency to pull on it that I got for free. Hooray, I pulled. And just check in whenever you want to do new content, which is just what I do. But yeah, they talked about a few new characters. I don't particularly want to talk about them besides, hey, they do cool things and stuff. Like one of them, a main mechanic of the game is you have a heavy attack for all of your characters. And that takes like a pip of a meter. And you have 5 pips. One of these characters, Sparkles, is like, hey, by the way, I'm in your party. You get 2 more pips just out of the gate. that's just a passive of hers. And I'm like, well, that's busted. That's a bit busted. But I just want to talk about the fact that we have a new planet that we're going to that used to be a prison colony before it got turned into a hotel. That's why it's called Penacony. It's a penal colony. I appreciate the pun. But the main characters, the Astro Express crew, have been invited alongside other people from across the galaxy to attend a festival that's being held there. And it feels like it's a setup for somebody to get murdered, and then it's a murder mystery from there. At least that's my assumption. I have not looked at leaks at all, really. Because apparently there's a lot of leaks for the story of this already. But we're going to be on this planet for like 3 updates plus an epilogue. And then some of the folks we're going to deal with, the Stellaron Hunters, are a bad guy force that we deal with sometimes that are maybe bad, maybe good. We don't know. All we know is that the guy that they follow pretty much has the script of the game and then tells his people to do stuff according to the script. And the person we're running into is the last of the group that we haven't ran into before, which is Sam, who is this Gundam Kamen Rider looking motherfucker. Like, look at this. Look at this design. This is some Gundam Kamen Rider looking guy. Then there's various like enemies that are native to Penacony, like this T-Rex chef and these dogs and monkeys that hand out the soda that's a part of this one dream world they're event ending. And then some other enemies that are native to the different dream zone as well. But I just think this game looks cool and stuff. And I also like that they've also put in a thing of, hey, quality of life update. Here is a timeline of the game's story, so you can catch up and read up on the story if you've forgotten anything, which is nice. But yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about. The game is free to play for anyone curious. But any thoughts?
No.
All right, then. Last up is the thing I just randomly saw. I think Nintendo Deals retweeted out. There's a group of people that are dedicated to clearing every single level in Mario Makers 1 and 2. And they're trying to clear everything in Mario Maker 1 before the online service shuts down. But apparently they have about 3,000 levels remaining. And they projected to have all of this done by February 22nd. I will give them credit for doing this for no other reason than just because they can. I guess any thoughts on that?
No.
All right, then. Releases. All right, let's see what we got. So we're going to kick off on the 29th with Grand Blue Fantasy Relink for PlayStation 4 and 5. On the 30th, Dead by Daylight Alan Wake DLC for Xbox One Series X, PlayStation 4 and 5. One Punch Man World for Android and iOS. On the 31st, Song of Nudu, a League of Legends story for Xbox One Series X, PlayStation 4 and 5. On the we'll skip down to February 2nd. I missed one. We have Jujutsu Kaisen First Clash for Xbox One Series X, PlayStation 4, 5, and Switch. Persona 3 Relay Road for Xbox One Series X, PlayStation 4, and 5. Yay! I'll be playing that. And then Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League for Series X and PlayStation 5. I can't wait for that game to flop. That game it is not going to do well. It also doesn't help it's coming out on the day of a major like Persona game. Let's see. On the 6th, Atomic Heart Trapped in Limbo DLC for Xbox Series X, PlayStation 4 and 5. Foam Stars for PlayStation 4 and 5. That is probably not good. But I'm just now seeing that that's when that's supposed to come out. That's that Square Enix like Splatoon-like game.
Ah.
That's not good. They have sent that game out to die. Let's see, we've got on February 8th, Mustache in Hell for Switch. Okay. That is certainly a name. Let's see. On the 9th, Forklift Simulator 2024 for Switch. Golfin' It for Switch? Jubilee for Switch? Golfin' It. Why does this sound like a Fortnite golf? Okay, it's not. What is this? Is this just like an endless golf game? It's a fairly basic looking golf game. I'm disappointed. I was expecting something nuttier. And finally, on the 10th, Make OS new operating system for the Switch. I also am curious what this is. Is this Make Your Own OS? No. Yes? Kind of. It looks like a minigame collection.
Sounds right.
I am disappointed. But that is a selection of releases. The full list is in our notes as usual. So anything else?
No.
All right, then tomorrow we find out how bad I will lose to Tommy in Super Mario Wonder Race.
I don't think it'll be that bad.
We'll see. Thursday we start Ghost Trick, or I start Ghost Trick Phantom Detective. Friday, I'm derping on what we were doing.
Splatoon 3.
Right, Splatoon 3. We were doing a race of some sort.
Yep.
And then next Saturday will be TGSR, but you'll be streaming between now and then as well.
Yep. Yeah. Monday will be, which I'm probably only gonna just say the Mondays. One. Mondays for right now will probably be Archipelago stuff, unless I decided to swap it up. But pretty much follow on my Twitter and you'll see on that kind of deal.
All right. That'll pretty much do it for us. So if you like what you see, and drop a follow, really appreciate it. Shipping away that affiliate go at TGS Network on Mastodon, on social, and at TGS Zone on Twitter. Gives you updates on live, like Special Point, Discord, and Chat. Drop by, say hi. We'll see you tomorrow, folks.